Hey guys, welcome back to Performance Anxiety. This week is about my own performance anxiety as much as it is about our guest. We welcome DJ Yo C from Montreal, Quebec to the show. Seeing as I know nothing about DJs, house music, raves, anything besides weddings that would entail the use of a DJ, I was way out of my comfort zone. So I really appreciate DJ Yossi coming on and explaining what he does, how he does it, how things have changed over the past decade, and how he stays on top of his game. We also talk about dogs, his own dog and my dog, and the charity that he helps support, Rescue All Dogs. Check them out on Instagram and all social media platforms and help them out as much as you can. Please enjoy this episode featuring DJ Yossi and my own performance anxiety. And don't forget to follow us on social media at PerformanceANX on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our shop on Threadless at performanceanx.threadless.com and pick up some cool merchandise. Also, don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen. It really helps us out. Thank you so much.
Anytime you want.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, whenever you're ready. I'm still recording, so whenever you're ready, you go on.
All right, no problem. Hey, everyone. My name is DJ Yossi, and I'm on Performance Anxiety. Take a listen anytime. Great host, great topics. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be honest, completely 100% honest with you. I don't know anything about DJs. So I'm actually looking forward to talking with you for a little while so I can learn some stuff.
With pleasure.
Awesome.
I'll teach you stuff if you need to learn stuff.
Perfect. And you can tell me a little bit about some DJ etiquette and stuff, because I know DJs all have different handles you guys go by, and I don't know if it's polite to ask real names or how you got your handle and
it's
stuff.
Fine.
Okay, cool. So you're in Canada. You're from Montreal, correct?
I'm from Montreal, exactly.
Okay, so and I've seen some pictures of you, and you're wearing an Expos hat. So are you a baseball fan?
All the time. You know what? It's funny. I've only been to a couple of baseball games ever in my life, and we don't have baseball anymore in Montreal.
I know. We took your team.
Yeah, you're in Washington?
Yeah, I'm in DC. I'm right outside of DC.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you guys saw our team.
Yeah. I want to say sorry, but
no. You know what? I'm guessing it was just not working out anymore in Montreal. But I do have to say that for a couple of years now, the city has been trying to work on bringing back a team to Montreal.
Yes.
They've been wanting to build a stadium downtown so it would be easier access and more accessible to people to go see games in Montreal. Because before it used to be at the Olympic Stadium, and I feel that the location was an issue for some.
Yeah.
And the attendance wasn't as good as it used to be. And I just don't know if baseball was as hype as it was throughout the years beforehand. So I think people lost interest, and I mean, we are a big hockey city, that's for sure.
That's true. That is true. And you know, it's one of those things that you may not appreciate the team until it's gone. I know that happens a lot in the NFL, and it's happened with hockey and basketball. I know Seattle is really trying to get a team back after they lost the Supersonics. So I really hope that the MLB puts a team back in Montreal, because I always thought the Expos were really cool. So we've got kind of a strange connection there. Me being a DC fan, and you being in Montreal with the Expos. And is Montreal a big spot for DJs? I mean, is it? Because I've never been, so I don't know anything about Montreal.
You know.
What's the scene like?
We have a lot of DJs a lot of big DJs came out of Montreal. You have DJ A-Track, Kike, Atiga, Scratch Bastard, Grand Theft, A lot of names came out of Montreal. Montreal has a lot of talent and a lot of creative minds. It's just that, unfortunately, once you reach a certain level, it's hard to break out more.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
You stay at the level, or you have to get out of Montreal to make it bigger. Like we have Celine Dion. That's a perfect example.
Okay.
She's from Montreal. She's from Quebec City. She's from Quebec. She's from Montreal. Right. At one point, how bigger can she get in Montreal?
That's true.
Reach a plateau. You reach a level where what is next? So I think whether it be a DJ or an artist, whatever it is, for an artist itself, even businesses, like you need to think outside of the box, and you need to think more globally. So as a DJ, you need to think more globally, because as much as you want to DJ in clubs and do events here and there, whatever it is, at one point, where else are you supposed to go?
Right.
Even if you're at your peak for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it is, after a while, like there's always new fresh blood or a newcomer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than you, but it's a new generation.
Okay.
So it like, I think like anything else in the world, or anything else like in terms of like actors or artists, you always need to renew yourself or think outside of the box, where you're like, okay, well, I've done great locally. Now I need to think internationally.
Yeah, you got to expand your base, or you're just going to stagnate.
Exactly. Or you're just going to stall. And if you're going to stall, there's two ways of going. It's either you continue going up, or you just go down.
Okay. So
that's what I think it is. And there's always new DJs. It's easier for people to become DJs today. It's so easy to become DJs today. And there's not enough clubs to sustain the amount of DJs that there are out there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to play at the hot places, but you don't have that many hot places for that many DJs.
Okay.
So then you have the bars and you have this and that, whatever. But the hot DJs, the names, the big names, or the up and coming DJs, there's not enough clubs to sustain the amount of DJs. And this is anywhere in the world. I don't think it's only in Montreal. I mean, I go to LA a lot. Even in LA, there's a lot more clubs in LA than there's in Montreal, but there's a lot of DJs in LA, like a lot of DJs in LA. Yeah. Anybody could be a DJ. So again, it becomes more of a who kind of game. Uh-huh. Your contacts, the promoters. The promoters want to come in and promote a club. Oh, well, actually, I want to bring in my friend who's a DJ. He's going to DJ for my night. So at one point, yeah, okay, you have a branding, you have a name, you have a following maybe, but like I said, generations change, and then you have new promoters, and you have new club owners, and you have something new that eventually you get bumped out of the whole scene. Whether you like it or not, it's not because you're not good. It's just that, it's just the way of life. Right.
And they're looking for fresh blood, and
yeah, but you have to expect it, and you have to foresee it as a DJ. You're just not going to be there forever, and you can't DJ forever. Like I tell this to a lot of my DJ friends. I've been telling this to them for a long time. You always have to think outside of the box. You always have to think outside of just DJing. You cannot be a simple DJ for the rest of your life. It will not be enough, because even if you do 5 nights a week at one point in your career, you'll get bumped down to 2 nights a week, then 1 night a week, then you have no more nights.
Right.
And the older you get, the more expenses you have, because you're DJing at one point. You're starting out your DJ career. Okay, you're living with your parents. Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna rent a place, or I'm gonna buy a place. You got more expenses at that point.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a car. You're gonna get this. You're gonna have a girlfriend. Maybe you'll have a kid. Who knows? So your expenses you get more expensive in life. So if you're only DJing, and if you're only making $400 or $500 a night, after a while, it's not enough. So you have to think. That's why I'm saying you have to think more outside the box. Either start becoming more of a businessman, where you have other kind of investments coming in, and not have to rely only on DJing.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe or work another 9-to-5 job, plus you're DJing on the weekend, So you have extra income coming in, or you have, or you're building something on your 9-to-5 job where, okay, well, eventually you're going to be promoted to have a bigger salary, whatever it is. It really depends on the person, but that's why I think as a local DJ, don't base yourself on the DJing for too long, because as much as you think you're the hot thing right now, you're not going to be the hot thing in a couple of years.
Right, exactly. So how did you get your start in DJing? What was the impetus that made you say, I want to try that. I really want to do that?
So funny enough, I started DJing when I was 15. No, my sister married a DJ who was actually not a club DJ, but a private and corporate event DJ. So he would do a lot of private events. He would do a lot of corporate events. So he had gear, and he needed guys to move that gear. So I was just 13 years old. My sister told me, and it was during summertime. My sister told me, look, do you want a summer job? My husband's looking for guys to help him out move gear from one place to the other for events. Every time he has an event. You know what? I'm like, sure, no problem. I didn't even know really what the whole concept of DJing was at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what kind of gear he had. I never saw that kind of gear, whatever it is. So I went and I started working with him. And within the first 6 months, I got so intrigued by the whole DJing thing. And I just started loving it just by watching him just DJ. And I'm like, I would sit down at the events, wait, like once we finished setting up, he would DJ. I would just sit down there, watch him, choose the records, play the records, learn about music, because it was like, to me, it was like, wow, I'd never heard these songs before in my life. Like I would learn all kinds of music from all kinds of genres, and then you see him mix music to get people from 13, 15 to like 80 years old getting up to dance.
Right.
You're doing private and corporate events. You're not doing clubs at that point. You wouldn't doing clubs. So you're learning all kinds just by watching him doing his thing. And within 6 months, I saved up the money that I was making with him. And I asked him, look, I'd really like to learn. Is it possible that I just buy some equipment for you? Some used equipment stuff that you just don't use anymore. So I bought a few things from him just to practice at home. And from 13 to 15, I was just at home practicing every single night after school. Summertime, I'd be home all the time. I would never go to a camp, summer camp. My parents would, my mom, especially my mom, would scream at me all the time. Like they weren't happy that I was at home all the time and not going out or socializing. And I'm like, no, I'm happy. I want to learn. I just want to do this. And so I would listen to DJs on the radios, hear the music, see how they were playing, just listen to what they were playing, try to mimic what they were doing. And then at 15, one of his employees, who was a DJ also, one of his DJs that used to work for him, called me up one day and he's like, look, I'm doing a wedding. Can you come and DJ with me? I'm like,
wow.
Okay. And I never DJed, I never DJed an event. I was just still practicing at home, and I was just always watching them do their things at the event. So I'm like, okay, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He's like, yeah, but you know all the music for the young kids, right? I'm like, yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, pretty much. So he's like, okay, perfect. Just come with me. And he just literally put me on there and he's like, mix. He's like, I'll do the music, just mix.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. So he would give me the music and he's like, mix. And then he would teach me sometimes when I would do my mistakes. He's like, no, you don't do it like this. You do it like this. So at 15, I really learned more in terms of DJing, in terms of like my mistakes, in terms of like counting music, in terms of like knowing what to play, when to play, how to read the crowd, because that's very important. Mm-hmm. But also, he taught me music from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, that I've never knew in my life before. So at 15, I kind of, my music knowledge was very, very like broadened because of him. And thanks to him.
Good. Oh, awesome.
And from that point on, every event that he was on, he wanted me to be there with him. So I go and I just learned, and I was so young and just eager to learn all new tricks and music and all that stuff. I was eating it up. And then at 19, I got my first break DJing in clubs, because I would always also go to clubs all the time and just listen to DJs all the time. Just to listen. I wouldn't go to the clubs to dance or drink. It was never my thing. It was just to go and listen to the DJ play music.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
What he would play, how he would play it. That was always my thing. So at 19, I got my first break to DJ in a club. and that's it. And then from that point on, I don't know. Everything just started rolling and rolling and rolling. But I just never expected it. Like you asked me how I got into it. I just fell into it. It's not like I was looking for it.
Right. Oh, wow.
I just fell into it, and I just loved it so much that it became my passion. And I still love it today. And I still practice at home. I have turntables at home, and I still practice on my scratches, my turntables, and I practice just trying to new things on it, always trying to learn, because at the end of the day, you never know everything. You always need to learn. You always need to open your mind. You always need to learn things, or else if you think that you know everything, then that's where you're wrong. Because
right.
to be more creative, to continue working, to continue being fresh, you always want to learn new things. That's what I mean. I believe that totally. And like I said before, like when I was doing it at 19, everything just started rolling and rolling and rolling until like I started traveling, and then I started meeting people, and then I started doing. I went to LA once, and my manager at that point, like who actually got me to open up for the Backstreet Boys. I'm not open up, but do the after parties after the concerts, do the boat cruise. Whom he made me open. He made me tour with Usher in terms of like the after parties also. I did parties for Bruce Willis, Leonardo DiCaprio, Lindsay Lohan. Like, I've done so many events throughout my career as a DJ. Then I started doing a party for one publicist in LA that opened doors for me so much, because from that point on, I did OK Magazine parties, Star Magazine parties, pre-Grammy parties, post-Grammy parties, Oscar parties, pre-Grammy parties. Like, it was just, I think it was just because I loved it so much, and I was just eager, and I just wanted to learn it, and I just wanted to play, and I just had so much love for it. I think people saw it, and at the same time, as a DJ, like I tell this to a lot of people, like I just told you before, like, you know, you have to be a businessman. So you have to make yourself understand that as a DJ, you are your own business.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I was marketing myself as a business. I was doing stuff for free because, you know, sometimes when you have a business, like you have a store or whatever it is, or a restaurant or I don't know, a juice stand or a popsicle stand, sometimes you give samples for people to be like, oh, wow, okay, this is good. I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy 10 of these or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would sample myself for events. I would bring myself to LA, to New York, to Toronto, wherever it was that I want to be in certain events. I would go and meet people and just offer my services for free, because but they kind of knew who I was. Right. So I would offer my services for free to try and get my foot in some doors.
Right. And
it was hard a lot of times.
Yeah. But once you start getting in that door and people start recognizing you and recognizing your talent, then word spreads even more and you're getting even bigger and better gigs. Like,
that's exactly what happened, you know, but also people were like, I mean, as good as you could be, it's still about who you are, and people like a person.
Right.
So it's a whole thing together. So they I'm guessing they like, you know, I'm very nice. I'm very sociable. I like talking to people. I'm just myself. I'm not a fake person. If I don't like you, I won't talk to you. That's it. That's all. Yeah, that's the way I am. But, you know, if I like you a lot, I'll do anything to help you out, whatever it is. So I think people just see that I'm kind of like authentic, and I'm not here to take anything from anybody. I just want to DJ, and I just want to have a good time, and I just want to make sure that people have a good time and people party. And I believe that's a strong point that I got that people kind of seem to like as well. And so not only do I DJ, but they like my personality, they like who I am, so it helps.
Right. Yeah.
And they remember, and they, you know, and I'm friends with a lot of people, and I don't call people just to call people for something. I call them to see. Sometimes I just call them to see how they are. That's it. I don't need anything out of them.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things, and I think that helped me get far also in my DJ career.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, if you're doing a good job, if you're talented and you're a genuine person, and you people can sense that A, you love the music, B, you love what you're doing, and C, you're a good person, then they're going to want to work with you because they know you're going to do a good job and you're going to do your best every time. And you're not going to try to just rip somebody off and just make a name for yourself. The job itself means something to you.
The job is the most important part for me.
Exactly. And that's why I was looking at some of the people you've worked with, and it kind of blew me away. Like you'd mentioned, Leo DiCaprio, Bruce Willis, Hilary Duff. The one that kills me though, because I'm a little older, all right? So I'm in like my mid 40s. So the guy that you worked with that is just blowing my mind is DJ Jazzy Jeff. That
you know what?
is amazing.
Jazzy Jeff is amazing. He's an amazing human being.
How did that happen?
I remember what I just told you. Remember what I just told you about people like just liking, I guess they like me, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff, not only is he an incredible and talented DJ, and let's not forget, he's part of Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. So Will Smith, he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh yeah. The
guy has won Grammys. He's done albums. He's traveled the world. But he's the nicest gentleman that you will ever meet.
Oh, wow.
He's one of the nicest gentlemen that you will ever meet. And he's so talented. And he's very, he pushes people to become better too.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
And that's the way and like I said, and he's been there for a long time now. I think he's in his early 50s and he's still going.
And
he's still going. Awesome. And there's a reason for that.
So I guess the next question is, guy like DJ Jazzy Jeff and you, how do you keep on top of the trends for DJing? I don't know. I guess that's the only question. Like, how do you stay on top of your game?
Like I said, you have to be open-minded. You really have to be open-minded. So you always have to be willing to learn. And music changes. Music always changes. Yeah. You're not going to play the same set that you were playing in the 90s or early 2000s and play the same set today. It does not work. Generation change. People change. Music changes. So you have to adapt yourself. So that's why when I said you have to be able to be open-minded, because you have to adapt yourself to the new generation. You have to adapt yourself to the changes. You have to adapt yourself to the new market in front of you. I'm not saying necessarily that you're going to like all the music that you're playing.
Right.
But you know what? If you want to continue being relevant, you're going to have no choice. So it's either you continue being relevant or you just stay, basically you're going to become a dinosaur and then you're never going to get booked again.
Yeah.
Because because your style is just too old. It doesn't appeal to the new generation. But don't get me wrong. Some DJs that have a name that have been around for a long, long time still DJ, still travel. Why? Because they have a certain reputation from that era, and people that book them is because they want to hear that kind of, they still want to hear them play that kind of music. They're known for that kind of style, that kind of music, so they still get booked for those kind of events.
Right.
So you still have a market for it, but it's not as strong as a market of adapting yourself to new generations and being able to tour and maybe being able to do festivals, being able to do big club gigs, like going into Vegas, having a residency in Vegas, let's say. You're not going to be getting those gigs anymore. You'll just do the other gigs. They'll still pay, but not as much, or not as, you're not going to get those many gigs.
Right. You won't be doing it as much.
Today. Yeah. Exactly.
So you've been doing this since you were 15 or so. What's been
since I was 13.
13, sorry. What is the biggest change that you've noticed since that time to now? Has it been equipment, or has it been the music itself, or styles? Or?
Gear has changed a lot. There's always new stuff, always new gadgets. The computer system, the computer softwares. That's what made the whole DJing game change completely. Because before you had tapes, and I mean, at first it started with 8-tracks, but obviously then you had tapes, and then you had vinyls.
Yeah.
Vinyls was the biggest thing. Everybody was playing mostly everybody was playing on vinyl. Then CDs came along, and after CDs came along, then there started to become computer softwares. The second computer softwares, like the DJ softwares came out, that's what I think changed the whole game of DJing. And that's what I believe It was a blessing, but a curse at the same time, because at that point, that's when everybody called themselves a DJ.
Ah, okay.
Because anybody could have a library on their laptop and have a software that allowed them to either mix music by itself by pressing a sync button, or you could see the numbers, you could see the BPMs, and align the lines of the waveforms on your computer to see if you're matching lines. Then you're like, everybody at this point could become a DJ. And like I said, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. A blessing, why? Is because the real DJs don't have to be in crates anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to haul around crates of vinyl.
No, and that was the beauty of it. That was great for the first couple of years. That was amazing. But then you started seeing no names or random DJs coming up out of the blue, all of a sudden charging almost nothing to DJ gigs. And at first it was like, nah, this is a joke. This is not gonna last. This is a joke. But after a while, it became more abundant. And the thing is that you couldn't fight it anymore. You just couldn't fight it. Anybody could call themselves a DJ. So a lot of celebrities call themselves DJs. You have all kinds of people that could call themselves DJs now. Are they real DJs? Take out the software, take out the computer. Can they mix? No.
To your point of making it easier for everybody to do it, I was a photographer for about 10 years or 10, 12 years. And then it was at the end of the film era. When Photoshop came out, I was in school for photography, and it was really basic, and everything looked terrible on it. But as it grew, more and more people suddenly became photographers. It took a lot of the skill out of actually composing and taking a photograph. You didn't have to worry about getting correct exposures. You didn't have to worry about darkroom technique, because you just scanned the picture into your computer and you messed around with it on Photoshop, and it looked fantastic. So
it's exactly the same thing.
Yep. So it's been
and I see that, and you're right, because I see that a lot because I do a lot of private events and corporate events as well. And I remember maybe 10, 15 years ago, I'd always see a handful of the same photographers all the time.
Right.
But then as the years progressed, and all these softwares for photography, iPhones, whatever it is, it became so much more accessible and so much more easier. Then you start seeing random people all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Now I could see photographers, and I'm like, I've never seen. I could see one guy this week and another guy next week, and I've never seen them in my life before. Oh, it's the first time I see them.
Yeah, it's rampant in photography as it is in DJing, and now you're seeing people come into events with, and they can shoot stuff on their phones, and it's high quality photo. It's amazing. I took I went to go see the band Living Colour about 2 years ago, and I didn't know if they would let me bring my camera in, so I just brought my phone in, and the pictures it was like one of my. I'm a little late to technology. It was like one of my first smartphones, and the pictures it took were fantastic, and I was so blown away by it. I said, "This is it. I'm a dinosaur. I'm absolutely a dinosaur at this point."
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean, but now I'm trying to accept it, because since I don't do it professionally anymore, I've accepted it, and I'm trying to take advantage of the quality of the iPhone pictures and take pictures where I might not be able to before, where I wouldn't be able to bring my camera, or it'd be too much of a pain to take an entire clunky rig with me. I've got my phone, and it does a decent enough job. So
no, it's exactly it. It's exactly what you were saying. Because at the beginning, the software for DJing weren't the best, but the more developed, the better it became, and the easier it became for people just to call themselves DJs. And that's where my point of a DJ becoming more of a businessman comes along. It's because it takes away, these guys take literally away the job from the real professionals that really put the time into it, and are really dedicated nights and hours of practice and listening and going out to listen to other DJs to actually really do it properly. And even photographers learning and actually going to school to learn these things.
Yeah.
It took away from them. And then at that point, it's like the real professionals are the ones suffering.
Exactly. And it's funny. I saw a video of you doing your thing, and it blew me away. The technique you had, and I'm sorry, I don't know technical terms for DJing, but your hands were just so fast, and everything just was seamless. It was like art. It was amazing. I was so blown away. I never realized how much skill it took to do what you do.
But again, because it's practice, right? You're just practicing, and I'm putting hours at home to practice. When I told you I was practicing when I was 13 to 15, like nonstop at home, because I was practicing. I didn't have the software, so I was training my ear to listen to music, to listen to beats, to know how to mix one song to the other, mistake after mistake after mistake, until I finally got it right, and training my ear to do it. Today, it's the other way around. People are training their eyes to see the wavelengths, to link them together, or to see the numbers of the BPMs of each song, and to link the numbers. Like if it's 92 BPM, the other song has to be 92 BPM so they can mix it in.
That, you know what? That's so true. And it's what blows me away in watching you is watching you like turn the record so you're at the exact same spot each time. I have no idea how you do that. I mean, besides practice, obviously, but it's so amazing. So you mentioned.
But hold on, you think that's amazing? You should actually watch guys that are like that I watch and that I admire and I look up to. There, a lot of guys are killers out there. They're amazing. Like they're amazing DJs. Like I aspire to be one day like them one day. Like that's why I still practice, because I do my thing and I appreciate what people say when I DJ, and I appreciate all the comments. But trust me when I tell you, there's guys out there that just blow me away, like out of the water, and they're just amazing at what they do, and they put even more hours, and it's just another level. So I'm always that's why I'm always trying to learn and learn and learn and learn. I aspire one day to get to their level, even though maybe I won't, maybe I will, who knows? But I'm still practicing just because I want to practice and I want to get better for myself. It's not necessarily that's something I'll do in the clubs. Or a private event or a corporate event, because let's be honest, when you DJ in a private event or corporate event, they don't want to hear you scratch like crazy.
Right.
You could do a few scratches here and there, but the whole point of doing a private event or a corporate event is actually just to make sure that people have a good time, having the right music selection and reading the crowd properly, and making sure that people are just having a good time and dancing the night away. That's what it is, really. When I try to practice and what you saw on social media or whatever it is that you saw, it's just because I love doing that for myself. But what I use that only when I tour with the comedian that I tour with, which is Sugar Sammy.
Yes.
So I tour with him. So and I open up shows for him. So opening up a comedy show is a completely different thing, because I'm there at the beginning of the evening, while people are coming in, entering the room, sitting down, and they see this guy, a DJ, on stage. Now, I had to make it more interesting for them and to just watch me play music. I'm not just playing music. I want to do other things, right? I need to entertain them. So the same way you were blown away by my hand movement or my scratching, whatever it is, or my song select, or the way I was mixing music together.
Yeah.
That's what I try to bring in front of a crowd that I'm on stage for, to entertain and warm up before the comedians, the first act comes up, before Sugar Sammy comes up.
Right.
So that's what I do. I do that for myself so I could be able to entertain that kind of crowd. I can't do that in the club. I can't do that in a corporate event, and I can't do that in a private event. It just doesn't work. But I'll do it. I can
see that.
Exactly. So I'll do it as a form of entertainment, so people could be like, "Oh my God, wow, what is he doing?" And at the same time, I do it to educate people also, because I got fed up also of all these little DJs coming up and just mixing music and calling themselves DJs. I want the people to see, you know what a real DJ is? This is what real DJs do.
I love it. I love that. Well, you do an amazing job of mixing different genres together. That's one of the things that blew me away.
Well, and that's the whole point of DJing, and that's the whole point of DJing, and that's what people need to understand. And I like, again, I find that because of the whole software, DJ software, all of that, and I find that people and generations, as you know, like the new generation don't understand what a real DJ is anymore. They never seen a real DJ.
Oh,
they only see what's in front of their face now. So a guy that's just DJing, pressing buttons, pressing play to mix two songs together, then it's like, wow, he's playing. This guy's amazing. No, he's not. I could show your mother how to do it.
Yeah.
Then you'll tell me she's amazing.
DJ Mom.
You want to see a real DJ? I'll show you a real DJ. There's so many guys out there, from Jazzy Jeff, from DJ Crave, from A-Track, from DJ Scratch. Like, there's so many amazing DJs out there that are just like, put the hours, and I don't really get the recognition that they're supposed to get. Yeah. And just because you have all these younger kids that come up, or the celebrity DJs that come up and take away from the real job of what a real DJ is about. And like you said, photography, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have the real photographers are known, renowned, and everything else. But then you have a company's going to be like, well, you're charging me $10,000 to do my photography, my photo shoot for my brand for this. I found a guy for $1,000.
Oh man, you have no idea how many times I had to go up through that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's again, is the product going to be the same?
No.
Is the end product going to be the same?
No, it's not. Exactly.
They only see the price.
Exactly.
They see what they could save in their pockets, but at the end of the day, is the end product going to be the same?
Not even close.
Probably not.
Not even close. And the thing that you'd mentioned that I thought is really interesting is that, so you DJ before the comedian Sugar Sammy comes out and does his show. That's actually amazing, because you've got to keep the crowd interested and in a good mood and get them ready for the show, because the last thing a comedian wants to do is to come out to a pissed off crowd. That makes his That makes his job even harder.
Not a pissed off crowd,
or a bored
really
crowd.
I mean, they're there to see your show, right? I don't think it's a pissed off crowd. I think it's just like a crowd that's just like, okay, we're just waiting for something to happen. Right. They're just being patient until the show starts. So I think by having me on there is just to create like kind of like, oh wow, what do you? It's just it's a sort of entertainment that we give them. And it's exciting for a lot of people, because they're like, oh my God, I haven't heard this song in a while. Oh my God, look how he's mixing. He's doing crazy things. That's the entertainment that we want to keep on just to give the crowd.
All right. So is it difficult for you to find your sound as a DJ? At
first, because you're trying to find yourself.
Okay.
At the beginning of your career, you're trying to find yourself. You don't know who you are as a DJ. You don't really, some DJs have a category already. Some DJs want to be house music DJs.
Right.
Some DJs want to be hip hop DJs. Some DJs want to be open format DJs, where you're able to play a variety of music together. It depends. I mean, look, I've listened to a lot of DJs. I've mimicked a lot of DJs. But at the end of the day, I could say that I have my own style, just because I'm very comfortable behind the turntables or the CD players, whatever it is, and I just know how I want to play music and how I should play music. It takes a while, but after a bit, people will recognize who you are and your sound.
Because it's an art form.
They come out for you, and they know.
Right.
And they actually know.
Yeah, because it's an art form. So you're developing your own voice as a DJ. You recently had a birthday back in November. And
yes.
So you raised money for Rescue All Dogs at Rescue All Dogs Co.
Exactly. So I'm part of. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you if you could tell us a little bit about the organization, and is this something that you do on a regular basis, is to try to raise money for rescue dogs? Because my dog's a rescue dog, and I love him to death.
Oh wow! What kind of dogs do you have?
He's the best. He is a Australian Shepherd Boxer mix.
Oh wow! How old is he?
He's 3, and his name is Hammond.
Oh my God!
He's the coolest dog. He's hilarious.
Yeah, my dog's actually sleeping right now.
My dog's going nuts downstairs. He's full of energy still. He's
yeah. Dogs are the best. Honestly, dogs are the best. So I never had a dog before.
Oh, okay.
Up until 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, I had a girlfriend, and she had a dog. She had a pit bull mix. which I wasn't crazy about, to be honest with you, because when I was 12, I got bit by a pit bull on my leg for no reason, just for standing there. And I hated dogs, and especially pit bulls, ever since then. But I started dating her, and she had this pit bull, and her pit bull is the most sweetest girl, like sweetest girl ever. Yeah. Like, she's so lovable. She just wants to be kissed. She means no harm to anybody. She loves other animals. She loves kids. She loves everybody. She's like just sociable, so nice. And she was a rescue too, because she was like, unfortunately, she was her old owner used to beat her up. Oh. And unfortunately. Yeah. And thank God for his wife that called the cops to be able to take her away from them.
Oh, wow.
Because she couldn't take it anymore. She was tired of her being abused the way he did on her. Oh, so gosh. She rescued her. And so when we started going out, she would bring her to my house. And I was just not comfortable at the beginning, because I'm like, okay, this dog could stab at me at any moment. But honestly, she was the most lovable, kind soul I've ever seen in a dog. Aww. And as we continued dating, the dog was just like always there, and like I felt like she was just depressed. So I told my girlfriend at that point, I'm like, look, maybe we should get her another dog, just to be able to have somebody there with her, to be able to play and have fun, and just have somebody, a companion there to not always be alone, and just to enjoy.
Yeah.
So we got Tyson as a baby. He was 2 months old. She found him, so we got him, and it was hard, to be honest with you. It was really hard at first, because I never had a dog before, especially not a puppy. And puppies are a big handful.
Yes,
like a big handful. Like they have a lot of energy. They eat stuff. They break stuff.
They chew on everything.
Yeah. They chew on everything. They pee everywhere in the house. Yeah. So, you bring him in your bed, and all of a sudden he pees in your bed, and like you lose it on him sometimes. Like it's not that, and it's not intentionally. They're not doing it on purpose. Obviously, like you need to understand that they're not. They don't do it because they want to do it. It's just because they don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and a lot of people, I guess, get frustrated and get mad at these animals because they're not obeying to do what they want them to do, or how they want them to do it. But a puppy, as a dog, it takes a year, 2, 3 years maybe, until it actually understands you properly. And after that, it's like the most lovable creature ever.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad. I have seen some pictures of you guys together, and Tyson he's a handsome dog.
He's a handsome dog. He's a big boy. He's a cuddle monster. He just wants to cuddle all the time. He has an attitude. He does have an attitude sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong. If he doesn't know you and he's scared, he will have an attitude with you. He will bark at you because he doesn't know you, and not a mean bark, just a bad bark, and it's just a bark where it's like, leave me alone. I don't know who you are. Get out of my face. I'm scared of you, type of thing. So Tyson, and so I got Tyson. That's how I got Tyson, and since. I'm not with my ex-girlfriend anymore, but so Tyson is mine now, and I've loved him so much that there was this person in Vancouver that just reached out to me one day, and her name is Kim, and she was with the rescue called the Rain Coast Rescue out of Vancouver.
Okay.
She was helping them out a lot. Like, she was very hardcore into that rescue. And it's been, I think, 2 years now that she's, she needed help to raise money for the rescue, and right. I just proposed that I help her out. She didn't really ask me for it. Like, she was just following me on Instagram, and she saw how much I love my dog, and she saw my dog, and that's how we started to connect.
Okay.
And after a while, she's like, "Oh, we need money because we want to go on a rescue to Lebanon." And we want to rescue dogs over there because it's very tough on dogs over there. Stray dogs, especially, they do all kinds of stuff to dogs out there. Oh, and it's only in Lebanon. They do like I've seen videos that she sent me, pictures that she sent me. It was the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, how can people be so mean? Like I never seen so much cruelty towards an animal in my life. When I've seen these animals, puppies, and especially puppies, I'm like, they're puppies.
Yeah.
Why? Like, it was just disgusting, and I'm like, I just couldn't watch this anymore. So they needed help just to get funds. And look, I mean, I have a sort of following. I don't have many followers. I have probably 22,000 followers on Instagram, and it's an amazing following. I don't have 100,000 to 1 million followers,
right?
But I mean, whatever I could have and try to help with, I will.
Yeah, yeah.
So we started doing some fundraisers online. Like I just asked my followers, I posted the pictures of the rescue of their missions and all of that, and I asked people just to try to help them out. And a lot of people were responding.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, wow, people actually there were people that were responding, and I feel like a lot of people are just living in a bubble that they don't really see what happens around the world in terms of animal cruelty. So by putting it out there and for them to see, I think it opened the eyes of a lot of people, and it really touched their hearts, and it made them aware. And I think people are like, oh my God, how is this happening? Well, it is happening. Unfortunately, we don't see it because it's not like news is not going to talk about it, because it's just dogs, right? To them,
right.
Who cares about dogs? So I think social media has that kind of power to bring people together to help out a certain situation. So Rad Rescue All Dogs came along, where she's like, where at one point I told Kim, I'm like, Kim, we can't continue asking people for money just to fundraise money. At one point, people are going to be like, well, I donated last time, I don't need to donate again.
Right.
And it's sad to say, but $5 at Starbucks will go a longer way than $5 for a rescue for a lot of people.
Yeah, they see what they're getting for that $5 immediately. They don't see it when they're giving it to a charity.
So that's exactly the point. So I told Kim, I'm like, Kim, maybe we should start selling stuff. And she came up with the idea too. She's like, okay, well, so she came up with the idea of doing a rad, which is called Rescue All Dogs. And that would be the foundation for getting funds to be able to send it to like Wrinkles Rescue or another kind of rescue, wherever it is that needs really funds to actually help out animals, especially dogs or cats or whatever it is. So she decided to create, to basically get bracelets with little medallions on them that says Rad Rescue All Dogs. And we would sell them. And at the same time, people would get these for like $20 or $25, and probably like $10 or $20 or $15 would go directly to the foundation of RAD.
Oh, cool.
And whatever we save would go to eventually, that would be the money that we would be using to help out the rescues. And doing that, I think people understood more and like were willing to pay for that, because they were getting something in return, and they felt like they're doing something good. But at the same time, they're getting something in return.
Yeah, exactly. And they're seeing something for the money that they're putting in. And plus, if you're putting your logo on it, it's also getting that out there for other people to see too. Exactly.
And something nice. It's a bracelet. It's nice. It looks good. It's not ugly. It's fashionable. So, and it's not expensive. $25. It was perfect. So we were able to raise money to help out the rescue with that. So that's where RAD came along, and RAD is right now continuing. We're actually focusing on that to build it more and more and more, to have more products, to be able to sell products, so people could buy the products, and most of the profits, if not all of it, will probably go to help our dogs. But now, if Kim is going to be, we already had this discussion with Kim where she has a job, at the same time is doing RAD on part-time, where we're like, look, if you want to focus more on RAD, then you're going to have to take a salary, but she hates that. She hates the fact of taking a salary. She's like, well, if I take a salary, I'm taking away from dogs. But unfortunately, if you don't have another job and you're only taking care of RAD, you need to take something for yourself, at least to live. So you could take care of RAD full-time. so Rad could grow to a bigger thing where people would always buy, and we have more money to save dogs. So that's something we were working on. And recently, not even 2 days ago, she got a call for a dog in Vancouver that got hit by a van.
Oh, wow.
And was left on the street, basically, to die. The van just left. And somebody that, which is amazing, somebody actually took her, brought her to the hospital. The hospital contacted Kim. Kim called me right away. She's like, we have a problem. I'm like, what is this? It was 9 o'clock for her, midnight for me. So I'm like, what's the problem? She's like, well, this dog, her name is Bean. She's 4 years old. She got hit by a van. Her owner's an addict.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So she lived on the streets. So she's like, she needs an operation. It's the doctor says it's about $4,500 to $5,000 for the operation.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, okay. So the first thing I did, I started praying online. And I lied to you not, when I say the power of social media is basically like within 24 hours, we were able to raise the $5,000.
Wow.
To help save that animal.
That's amazing.
People literally were able to, it was incredible. I've never seen that in my life. People literally stood up and they saw the pictures and they saw the video, they saw everything, and they literally stood up and we're helping this dog.
Oh,
and literally, people literally got up and we created a GoFundMe page. We passed the 4,500 mark, which we're at $5,000, which is amazing because we were able to pay for the vet bill for the surgery.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know how vets are. At the end, after the surgery, well, now there's this, and this. So at the end,
yeah, exactly.
At the end, we got screwed in a way because the vet bill came out to $13,000 instead of $5,000.
Whoa!
So now we have a $7,000 difference, and unfortunately, we're not going to go back and tell people, well, you guys can't do more because now we can't do that. So what we're going to do is just Kim is going to, obviously she decided to pay it for herself. And on the products that we're going to start selling for Rad, she's going to start taking back the money slowly to pay herself, and then continue with Rad. Unfortunately, that's the way it has to go.
Well, how can some of the people listening to this show help out? Is there what social media avenues do you have where they can connect with you? So
Rad is Rescue All Dogs. That's where it's on Instagram. We're mostly on Instagram at the moment, and website's being built. We're doing slowly. We're getting merchandise together to be able to sell, to be able to have stuff to make a profit on, to be able to put in the funds, to be able to save dogs like this, and when there's emergencies, to be able to be like, we have this covered. We could do this. We could help this dog. Because if honestly, this dog would have not survived if it wasn't for the help of everybody online, on social media. This dog would have never survived. They would have taken her and just euthanized her. Unfortunately.
Oh, well, I'm glad that didn't happen. That's a great
we're
story.
very glad that didn't happen.
Well, I know I've kept you a lot longer than what we had spoken about. So, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you? Where can they contact you if they're interested in having you at an event, or if they want to listen to some of the music that you're making? So either Google me. You could Google DJYO-C, DJ Yo C, or on social media on Instagram it's DJYOC. On Twitter or on Facebook. Also, Facebook is DJYO-C as well. Okay. You could find me like that, and for sure, for 100%, I'm always down to do something. Awesome. And I think some of your music is on SoundCloud also, so they can check you out. Yeah, I have stuff on SoundCloud. I haven't updated it on SoundCloud, to be honest with you, in a while, because SoundCloud has a lot of copyright infringement laws now that you can't do much with. So they take down a lot of your mixes and all that stuff. So I don't really put stuff on SoundCloud anymore. I am on Mixcloud though. Okay. Mixcloud, it's another form of SoundCloud. It's just another kind of avenue for DJs to put on their mixes. But the thing is that but I'm a very my DJ style, I play all kinds of music. So it could be you could have mixes of house music on there, or R&B music, or hip hop, or I'm very
very open format as a DJ. So I don't like calling myself just a house DJ or a hip hop DJ. I like playing a little of everything. So that's why I put all kinds of mixes on there, just for people to appreciate it. If they like house, there's a house mix. If they like hip hop, there's a hip hop mix. If they like R&B, there's an R&B mix. Or if they like open format, there's the mix over there also for that. So yeah, you can find, that's where you can find it.
Well, that was awesome. When I listened to your stuff, I realized there's no way I was going to be able to pigeonhole you with my limited knowledge. So I really enjoyed listening to you. And everybody check out DJ Yo-C. Thank you so much for coming on with me, man. I really do appreciate the time you spent with me tonight and teaching me a lot about being a DJ because, like I said,
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Like this, shake your body, don't stop, don't miss. All you ladies pop your pussy like this, shake your body, don't stop, don't miss. Just